Hey guys, it is Michelle, and I am here with my wrap-up for the Under-Hyped Readathon. This is the second time it has taken place. It is hosted by Charlotte from Ramblings of an Elf Pyre. I will link her channel below. I will also link the GoodReads group for this readathon. It is my absolute favorite readathon. I get the most read. I am the most motivated by it because my big motivator for participating in BookTube is to share books that maybe other people may not have heard of, and I use it for myself to find books that I might not have heard about otherwise. So, I finished 3 books and I have started a 4th, but I did have school going on during this readathon, so I couldn't participate as fully as I did in July, but still enjoyed it. First, I read Lost Bodies by Francois Ganthray. Okay, I'll admit I started a little bit early and I actually finished this one before it technically started, but hey, there really aren't readathon police, so I'm going to go with it. I absolutely loved this story. It is written by Francois Ganthray. He is a French author, so it had to be translated into English. It is set in Egypt, so if you're looking to read diversely, there you go, a couple things that make this a little bit diverse. I loved how simple the world was. There was not much technology at all. There was no magical realism. It's just a very realistic fiction book. Some of the language was very beautiful, but the story was very easy to follow. You're with a young lady who is trying to locate her lover. He is kind of a political captive, and she's trying to find out where he's held. She does some questionable things to find out where that is, and she arrives at that location through much research, and unfortunately finds out that he has been dead for quite some time. So she obviously is disappointed. She really doesn't know what she wants to do with her life from this point. Well, as she just finds out the fate of her lover, one of the other prisoners from that camp escapes. So she has to decide whether to help him or not. Of course she does. And so their story unfolds from there. But I just really enjoyed it. I ended up giving it 4 stars out of 5. Very good read. The next book that I read was on my Kindle, and this is a novella by a fellow booktuber. Her name is Beatrice Bugane. Her channel is Books Over Looks. And I knew she had written a book and gotten it self-published when she was in high school. And near the end of 2014, she did a video where she talked about it, about the experience of writing it and having her having a book signing and things like that. It was just so neat to hear her talk about it. Before, I had no idea I could actually get the book on Amazon, so I did pick it up for this readathon, and I loved it. It is about a very elderly woman, and she has all of her routines down, and it turns out that is because she suffers from dementia. And so she goes through this wonderful exploration of the comfort of routine and habits versus the joy that can come from novel experiences. And it was just very well written, and it was beautiful and meaningful, and it kind of had a sort of closed, sort of open ending, and I just really look forward to what else she's going to write because I was very, very, very impressed. I gave this 4 stars out of 5 on GoodReads. Next, I picked up a book that was recommended by a fellow booktuber in his 2014 wrap-up, and it's called Kick, and the author is John L. Monk, and this was such a fun read. I laughed out loud many times while reading this. You're following Dan Jenkins. Now, Dan Jenkins actually committed suicide in his own life, and so his consciousness floats in the great wherever after that, and occasionally, kind of like a door opens, and if he thinks about moving towards the door, he all of a sudden consciously inhabits another person's body. Unfortunately, all of these people are lowlives and scumbags. They're all drug dealers or rapists or murderers or any combination thereof. And although no one has told him this, he feels like it's his job in the 3 or so weeks he's going to inhabit their body to kind of clean up their messes and prevent them from making more. So he has several ways that he does that. I don't want to spoil anything, but it is very fun to read. Somewhere along the line in the book, kind of the rules change, and the things that are happening change. And your main character has no more idea what's going on than you do. So it's just really fun. Let's try to figure out what in the world the rules are now and why things have changed and what in the world is going on here. But the dialogue is just so funny. Reading this kind of reminded me of the first time that I watched Pulp Fiction, where I laughed at something and then had to go, oh, what kind of person am I that I find that kind of thing funny because that is so dark and so terrible. So I kind of had that kind of feeling the whole time I was reading this book, but it was refreshing and it was nice. So I did end up giving this also 4 stars out of 5 on GoodReads. I have started a 4th book. Don't know if I necessarily consider it underhyped. It's only underhyped because it's not out yet. I don't know if it'll be underhyped after it is released, but it comes out in February and I managed to get a digital reader's copy of it through NetGalley, so thank you so much for that. But I'm only about 15% through, and so far it's, we'll see. It was on my most anticipated for February 2015 list, so we'll see how I end up liking it. But that was Seeker by Arwen Elise Dayton, and it is about a young woman who has trained all her life to become a seeker, and she's about to take her oath. But a friend knows that being a seeker is not quite what she thinks, and so we'll see what happens from there. Anyway, thank you so much to Charlotte for hosting this yet again, my absolute favorite readathon. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you participated, link your video below. I would love to watch it if you did a wrap-up or if you just want to tell me what you read. Thanks so much for watching and happy reading.